Well, holy shit. She's finally responded, and judging from the first 3 replies I'm seeing, it isn't very fucking good. In fact, like, how do you get buff up to just go, dude, fuck off? All this, like, I can't wait. Let's jump into this. Check it out. First time together. Nothing I can say to make this better, but I will try my best to properly convey my feelings, frustrations, and mistakes. I'd like to explain on my point of view and apologize to each party affected. Redacted has been my co-content creator since I began making content, managing all aspects of what I do and being a major part of why I'm here. Been in a relationship. Hey, she confirmed it! In a relationship since the start of my endeavors. It's no secret that many VTubers choose to keep their public and personal lives separate. I'm no different. Exactly. You're no different. That was never a fucking issue. The only part of it that would be an issue would just be, if anything, like, lying about it. But even then, I wouldn't really care that much about it, because I don't care. As of yesterday, he's no longer working with me, and I'm not extensively discussing any of this with him. Where our personal situation goes from here will be figured out between us privately. Ooh. Never intended to mention us publicly, but given that the claims are out there, I want everyone to know I'm taking this seriously. After years of working on everything together, his hyper-business-oriented outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing and what should be important to me as I navigate this career path. I have a terrible work-life balance as it is, and being around projects and streams all day, every day, made me lose sight of the point. It took all this happening for me to realize this behavior isn't normal or healthy. It's not an outlook I want to have. This doesn't absolve me of the things I've willingly done wrong and went along with, or the way I've treated people or were fully undeserving. No, it doesn't fucking absolve you, but to me at least, it just seems like you're trying to downplay what you did. Like, oh yeah, to me it seems like you're doing the whole I'm taking responsibility at that kind of thing, and then just not really caring. That's what I'm getting from this, is that you're just basically saying, yeah, I did it wrong. See, I admitted it. Will you forgive me now? That's the vibe I'm getting from this. In regards to Nanolist, for the majority of the time working with her, Red was the one almost solely doing the communication about new plans and negotiations through his private DMs. Nano had a project server where we were all a part of, where the actual art and models were worked on, but the conversations were focused around the work itself. I was not fully aware of the extent of Red's manipulation over Nano's commissions decisions. Should have been more diligent in my oversight. I don't believe that. Everyone says that y'all were very... I don't believe that. Every time I had been told that Nano had agreed to work on a new commission with me, it had been willingly and in excitement. From my point of view, it was that she genuinely wanted to be working on these things. I wanted to work with Nano as much as I possibly could, making her art the face of my brand. Okay, hold up. See, right here. This proves Cinder knew about it. And it wasn't like... Let me reread this. Majority of my time working with her, Red was almost... sure. It's not fully aware of the extent of Red's manipulation over the commission decisions. I mean, you looked like you were pretty, knowledgeable about it from this point of view. I mean, you're constantly not making any more models for it. You knew. You knew exactly what you were doing. Okay, you can't say that. You knew exactly what it was. Every time I've been told, willingly with excitement. From my point of view, it was that she genuinely wanted to be working on these things. I mean, yeah, but then you also have Nano with her screenshot being like, how she was clearly uncomfortable with this. Yeah, bullshit, Cinder. You knew it wasn't. You knew it. From this screenshot, it proves that you knew. I wanted to work with Nano as much as possibly could, making her face of my brand. We had come to the conclusion that it'd be my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my projects by negotiating with her to cut out other work. This was wrong for us to push onto her, and it was wrong to the other creators who wanted the chance at working with her. It's only one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pressuring Nano into reconsidering projects with, not an entire list. Oh, right here. This right here, because Silvervale also... I found it, because Silvervale mentions in her document, right here, you didn't tell Silver you canceled because of Cinder, did you? So, and when was this? When did it get canceled? 11/20, that was a while ago, but still. The claim that I was just using her is wrong. I've always treated Nano with respect and as my friend. I mean, some of this seems very, you say that, but a lot of this seems very fucking manipulative from my point of view. I did give her a lot of work, and we did everything we could to accommodate her schedule if she needed more time or a break, and even helped her with her own project payments multiple times. I invited her on my stream. I've sent her my merch and things she made for me. I was always open to talking to her about this things outside of our projects and the instances we would message each other. Regarding the exclusivity deal made between them, I had no part in direct negotiation of their eventual agreement, and I had no knowledge of Bao and Cotton being included in this list. If I had known my friends were included, I would have said something to put a stop to it. I was only aware of it being about one person who I was unfairly pursuing, Silver. When Nano had messaged me about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the assumption this was only about Silvervale. Okay. So you say that. Where is this? Yeah, this is Cinder's own... Okay. So Cinder, from what I'm seeing... Let me look at this. Going back and forth about it. See, this right here. I was about to say, Cinder's only saving grace is that she doesn't really mention anything, which, yeah, she only mentions very specifically her, which is reference to Cinder. So that's Cinder's only saving grace. The only issue is other people who know how much they talk, but also going back and forth about it. So there are more conversations, at least between Cinder and Red, and Redacted, to Nano. So there's that. That's what's really fucking me over at this. I was upset, and my initial messages to her were very guilt-trippy. Yes, they were, but I wasn't going to force Nano to do anything she wasn't okay with, and tried reassuring her that I was okay with her decision. Dude, that's what's so guilt-trippy about it. You came off very guilt-trippy, then appeared to be like the nice guy, like, no, it's okay, you can do whatever you want. Like, no, that isn't how it works. Nano had also never come to me as seriously and professionally as her document was looking to address the issues she had with either of us or to terminate our partnership. I had no idea there was even a conversation about Shy Lily recently between Red and Nano until reading her document. It's true, I had confided in Red that lately I hadn't been hearing from Lily like I had in the past and was worried something was wrong. That's as far as it went, and he took it upon himself to try digging for more info. I find it... okay. Now, I was never even aware Nano was ever planning to work on a model for another one of my friends, Geary. I do not condone anything about what Red said about Bao in these DMs either, and him using we and our in this context is abhorrently incorrect, and I believe was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. It's your word against a whole bunch of other people who are like, yeah, no, from what we know about her, it's a we. There's no... Bao, Red and I were originally upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. Damn right you shouldn't have. Thought as if maybe my content wasn't good enough, or like I wasn't paying enough for his work, but I accepted it and was happy for him getting that bag and supporting one of my friends at the same time. And yes, I was also upset when Sack, the Boss Rush music video editor, told us that he won't be working on any future projects with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao. But Red got it in his head it was Bao's fault that it happened and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. He was very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future projects around it, but he told me without an MV editor as talented as Sack, future projects wouldn't reach the same height, so he created his headcanon that's laid out in those DMs. I wasn't convinced that's the case, but it's my fault for never speaking with Val about these things directly to clear things up and letting it spiral to the point it got to. Every comment here about her own music, guilt-tripping the claims about our shared feelings towards her are disgusting, and I honestly don't know why he thought this was about my close friend beyond the resentment over those two things, or why it was worth sabotaging her over. One big issue, Cinder, that I'm starting to have an issue with your thing. My issue is you don't have any screenshots or any real proof other than what you're saying. Everyone else brought Nano brought screenshots. You aren't. You, at least so far. How long is this? 2:07. I'm hoping you have some fucking... I'm really hoping you have some screenshots later on. Because if not, this is very much so, it's just nothing. The It's Just Business screenshot of my DMs with Nano's document was from November of 2023, and I'll go into my thought process of everything I said here. What Red was trying to explain to Nano is that if everyone has a model by her, then the innate value of her models overall are diminished by therefore being an oversaturation of that type of model out there. That's just categorically, no. There's, I don't remember the fucking artist exactly, but there's plenty of VTubers out there. All very separate and all that. All have the same art mom. That's not true. Everyone in the world has a VTuber model done by her, then the value of having her model wouldn't be the same as if there was only a handful of them. You make it seem like there's that many. The fuck do you mean? Which he viewed as a negative for me. I understand where he was coming from with this, but the VTuber space, this isn't something we should have pursued. Nano has an amazing skill where she's able to draw each of her VTuber children uniquely. Yeah. It's also just part of the innate part of having a design. So I was never upset over seeing new model siblings. In many cases, I was there cheering them on in their debuts and looking to collab with them as sisters when I could. Me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nano's business decisions, whether she chose to work with me or not. It's not in reference to anyone's model being canceled, further explaining to her that it's okay if she chooses not to work with me, and understand where the next part can sound manipulative, but my intention was to reminisce about the journey we had together to this point. Since at this time I wasn't sure if this is where Nano and I would stop working together as frequently as we had been, I'd have to look for a new model artist. Okay. Yet again, screenshots. DMs are a hell of a fucking thing. I encouraged her to work on projects she's excited about while I talked with Red to find a project that would work with her schedule. When talking about Silvervale, I need to start at the beginning. Before I was Cinder, I was a pink cherry blossom girl named Tashi that did ASMR content. When the VTuber boom happened in 2020, I knew I wanted to join in. Red and I contacted an artist in October, and they were set to start my VTuber design by December. Plan was to take my cherry blossom persona Tashi and make her a pink and white wolf girl VTuber. In November of that same year, Silvervale revealed her Sakura wolf redesign. I had heard of Silvervale earlier that year, but I didn't watch her streams at all. We knew we had to pivot before we were stuck with a design that would just be a copy of one of the most popular VTubers at the time. Like I've explained many times on my stream, I knew I wanted to be a wolf girl, so I mixed my love of kami and metal music into the design and came out with a hellhound. My name was originally going to be Ember, but Red came up with the name Cinder since it was a mix of Sin and Cinder, both hell and fire themed. It was only a coincidence that it ended up being similar to Silver. I was genuinely interested in pursuing a friendship with her and drew fan art myself of us together. On the other hand, Red was in my ear the whole time saying how great working together would be, since again, he's been the business-oriented side of my brand. Since I started streaming, I've been ruthlessly compared to Silvervale being called the discount version of her. I've never seen that, and I never thought that. I don't get the same vibe between the two, so I don't know is this like a very small number of people commenting this and it getting in her head or something? Because I've never seen that. I was accused of copying her design, copying her personality, and even copying her laugh of all things. There was a large number of people who were diehard believers of the fact that I quote-unquote stole all these attributes maliciously for my own gain. I mean, I've never seen it, but okay. Citing the art I posted of us together calling her an inspiration, when in reality this was referring to the decision to become a hellhound. The only time Silvervale was mentioned in this original designing of my character is when we explained why we were pivoting to something else and there were no references of the character involved. Grew more and more resentful of Silver over time between the constant belittling of myself and controversy around my first waifu cup and other incidents. Actually, I don't know what this... I'll have to look into this. I actually don't know what it was. Even though she herself never interacted with me directly, and it was also the fact that made me insecure, like I wanted to know if she believed all those things or not. Really felt as if she didn't like that I even existed in the same space, so at that point I was working with Nano consistently. We brought up not making any more models for her. If VTuber model is how everyone recognizes you, then it'd be harder to compare us directly if we no longer look alike or have that shared similarity. It's wrong and selfish decision, but it made me feel better, and that's why it was a constant topic with Nano. Red pushed this harder than I ever did because he knew how it affected me for years, but no matter what the outcome was, I wasn't going to walk away from working with Nano. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment, and it's my own insecurities that led me to making this choice. I became unapologetically evil. Oh, I lost my place. Unapologetically evil towards her due to no direct action of her own. There's no excuse for any of this. Let me mark this. Holy shit, there's so much. And there's no screenshots or anything trying to disprove anything. Moving on from Silvervale, let me talk about Spite. Once again, I had no involvement or knowledge of Red bringing up Spite to Nano in 2023. My only personal involvement with excluding someone specific from working with Nano was Silver. Again, due to certain talks, I find it very hard to believe that. My design sheet and outfit were finished and made public at the very start of 2021. The first thing she mentioned is a debut teaser in 2022 that was apparently posted on the same day as her original debut, which I honestly don't know if at the time was intentional or not. I don't know when I first discovered Spite, and it could have been after she debuted. When I first debuted, I was very possessive of my design details. I made it a year and a half since my design sheet was finished in public to having a full VTuber debut as I watched everything grow and change from the sidelines. I didn't want anyone else to capitalize on my concept before I could. Soon after my original debut, I remember Spike getting an update to her model that made it seem like she more closely resembled me, including fire added to her model. Without evidence, I saw it and thought she must have copied me, but I never did anything about it other than voice my frustrations to Red. Damn. First off, just gotta say, all the memes of people saying, oh, she's just gonna fucking throw it on the manager. She really is. She's really just throwing it Red under the fucking bus, huh? She cucked the dude and then is just throwing him under the bus. I didn't want to start any drama with anyone, and I didn't have ownership over Fire as a design detail. The references for the ripped shirt and shorts outfit on my bikini model was also given to Nano in June of 2022, with the purpose of having a cover-up outfit that would be safe for Twitch. The merch art she's referring to was designed around my concept of Fire changing blue. The fact that the rest of the art was grayscale was the artist's choice since it was going back onto the back of a hoodie, and I didn't have a say, or at least I didn't counter that being the final decision. There's no intention to deliberately look like Spite with this piece. Unfortunately, both my Angel and Sleepy outfits being similar to outfits to Spite as done in the past was just a coincidence. Yo, there's a whole lot of fucking coincidences, huh? Like, there's a whole lot. I'd always planned to make I'd always planned to one day make an Angel counterpart to my Demon outfit when I was being made in 2023, and my original reference sheet laid the groundwork for that idea. Never liked theming anything around my brand in religious light, so I chose to make my angel form more Greek, Valkyrie, than biblical. Which is funny because these are fairly different from my understanding, but okay. Which also gives a similar look to my demon form. The sleepy outfit was a last-minute decision to pivot from a fully new 3.0 model because I had the opportunity to work with GamerSupps on an AFK flavor. Spike never should have received hate comments over her outfit or any comments comparing us or belittling her because of my existence, and I never advocated for anyone to do so, especially given my experience. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I found it. I finally fucking found it. This took me fucking forever to finally fucking find. Nyantails ASMR. When was this? Yeah. Fucking forever ago. Back in 2021. Cinder liked this fucking post. So, I'm sorry, what were you lying? I never advocated for anyone to do so, especially given my experience. Sorry, what were you lying? Spy also brought up another creator who reached out to her about their experience with me, and I can only assume it's Nyantails. Hey, look at who it is! They are an ASMR artist, but at one point posted a Hellhound OC for one of their upcoming ASMR videos, and it was undoubtedly created using me as a reference. I mean... You say I don't see it, Cinder. What? It's a wolf girl with little fire in her ears. I call bullshit on that. This is right after my debut, and like I said, I was very protective of my design and elements being unique to me, and I overreacted. I mean, you say that, but then... Spite... Obviously, it wasn't fucking settled, considering Spite got a fucking message in 2023 about it. So obviously not. You're just throwing other people... This is a non-fucking apology. At the very start of my online career, I was a GFE ASMR artist. Before starting my channel, I had gotten into listening to roleplay audios myself. I'd always been a shut-in throughout high school and college, and I wasn't happy where in my life and relationship we were at the time. After uploading my first few audios to my channel started growing fast. This was the first time I was inundated with so many people wanting to know me and talk to me, and I got lost in the excitement of it all. Not fully coming to terms with these messages being because of the kind of content I was making. Oh, so you did the classic fucking being parasocial for your viewers. I was immature and inexperienced with how to conduct myself online. I've never had many IRL friends and had met Rain doing ASMR. I quickly became comfortable chatting with him about everything, divulging my grievances about my personal life when I shouldn't have. I cheated on my boyfriend with Rain in these conversations, flirting and sexting. I used Rain for emotional comfort and sexual fantasy while I let my real-life relationship collapse. It's about my dissatisfaction with my personal life and escaping into messages with someone else I found through content because of around GF and BFRP. It was never about climbing the ladder with Rain. I find that being his takeaway from why I moved on baffling. By the time I was ready to debut Cinder, I wanted to leave that in the past. Still to this day, I regret my decisions. I've been living with it since, and I was lucky to be able to mend my relationship after this. Holy shit. And lastly, I want to address Peaches. This is a very big problem I have, and I'm sure why many others in my position do too. At the end of the day, I am one person. I am one person working on multiple projects with multiple companies, talking to dozens of people and streaming for hours almost every day. I've never had a big social battery, and I get tired very easily when interacting with people. I haven't had much energy all over the past year, leading to me taking frequent naps. I've rarely been able to keep up with my closest handful of friends on a frequent basis, let alone anyone else. Red has always been a big help keeping up with things, but he doesn't do everything. So sorry I made you feel forgotten, Peaches. I've always cherished your friendship, and I was incredibly excited to meet you in Paris. So grateful for everything you've done for me, and I've never thought to purposefully drop you just because I could. I'm sorry, I know I've made a lot of people feel forgotten or ignored. It's just so easy to get caught up in projects or what I'm doing while I have the energy to do it that people fall by the wayside. Understand the feelings of those who resent me over this, and all I can say is, I'm sorry. Okay. Don't deserve to be able to contact everyone. I don't even know Who was Peaches? What was the Peaches situation? I don't remember Peaches. I don't remember this. Was this something I missed? Was this another fucking thing I missed? Okay, I remember Van Peaches then. I do know you. Okay. So that's what it was. Van Peaches was the one who originally dropped the fucking boyfriend bomb. Got it. Good to know. I don't remember where it was. I'll go with this. I don't deserve to be able to contact everyone involved directly to personally apologize, so I'll do it here in the chance they read it. To Nano, I'm sorry I let things get to the point or even entertain the thought of you working exclusively with me. It's not fair to you. I wouldn't be here without you, and I wouldn't have been able to do most of what I've already done without you. I felt overly attached to our relationship over the past 4 years, and I loved your work so much that I wanted to make quote-unquote myself exclusive to your art, and should have never sought those feelings to be reciprocated. Everything you've ever worked on for me has always been so perfect, and I lost sight of how everyone else around me would have felt. I had no intentions of pressuring you into anything, but looking back on my clouded judgment, I can see now how my messages felt that way. Yet again, this is just very... This is yet again just very, very guilt-trippy towards Nano. When I talked about how my models helped you improve, I meant that as looking back on how far we've come together. We've been friends for so long and cheered each other on when we both started growing and getting more opportunities like plushies, figures, etc. You had been my exclusive artist for full live 2D models for the majority of my time as a VTuber, and of course I would have been sad if you didn't want to continue that relationship. But in all our other private DMs, I was okay with you ultimately doing what was best for yourself. You say that, but you didn't fucking show them. Yet again, you didn't show them. Saw you as someone I trusted and loved and wanted to make sure you were still taking care of yourself with all the projects you took on, mine or otherwise. I never saw you as just a business partner. I thought I was reassuring you that I'd always be understanding if you wanted to move on to other projects. I genuinely appreciate our friendship. I always saw you as a close friend, and I'm sorry what I put you through. To Bao. Ooh, this should be a doozy. Since the start, I've always admired you and how genuine you've been to everyone. I wouldn't be here without you either. I'm disgusted with myself for buying into the narrative that my friends were quote-unquote competition. Ooh, this makes me feel icky. I've never had such genuine friendships in my life, especially with you. Gotten to know each other so well online and in person. You've already been through so much, and the last thing I'd want to do is cause more harm. But I did. Sorry for not reaching out sooner about these ideas that were put into my head. I wish we would have been able to talk about this too. I didn't know about the severity of things that had been said and theorized about by my own friends behind my back until now. It's my fault for not realizing the things Red was saying about you. Yet again, Red. She's really pushing everything onto Red. The countless friendships I've made here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things and his way of thinking. No amount of popularity or money means more to me than relationships I've built in this community. I've always been myself, whether that be on stream or in person. I hope the friends I've made can understand I'd never condone this behavior or any of the things that were said about my friends. Always wanted everyone around me to thrive and find happiness. I can't stress enough how disappointed I am I didn't see this sooner until it got to a breaking point I'm sorry about. See, this right here where she says, I hope the friends I've made can understand I never condone this behavior or anything said about my friends. See, you say that because this is damage control. But all the other shit, whether it is Nano, even Silver, who doesn't fucking know you, Nano, Bao, other people in the thing, all say the same thing. You and Red were communicating on how to, on everything. That's what everyone else is saying. People who know you are saying that, and you just saying this means Jack. To sack. I loved getting to chat with you in person and absolutely loved all the hard work you put into the Boss Rush song. I was grateful to hear you were on board to edit the music video. I don't remember exactly why the stream got pushed back, but I definitely wouldn't have put the blame on you knowing about how soon the deadline was when you started working on it. I was so thankful for your willingness to complete the project despite everything, and quality of how it turned out was incredible. I can't believe how Red talked about you, especially after all the effort you put in for me. I'm so sorry for everything. Yeah, it's the Red thing. It's the Red thing. She's really trying to emphasize Red. Everything. Mentions Red in everything. Cotton and Lily, I'm so sorry you had to get dragged into this. It's my fault. I let it get this far. But I hope you can believe me when I say I had no knowledge, Red, yet again, of knowledge of Red bringing you up in Nano's DMs. I just learned about all this myself, and there could have been so many other friends affected by the narrative that things always had to be competitive. If I knew Red was trying to exclude specific friends in this exclusivity deal, I would have spoken up. None of my friendships are worth sacrificing over an art piece. I love being your friend and all the memories we've shared, and I hope someday you can forgive me for allowing this to happen. Wow. Red. Yeah. I'm nearing the end, and then I have an idea. Since the start, Since the start, I love that I saw someone else sharing so many similar interests to me, and I thought maybe someday we could talk about it all and be good friends. Blinded by all of these hate comments around me, calling me your lesser half. I hate the person I've become towards you. I tried reaching out some time ago to try to start a friendly conversation to change things and make things right. Say hi to you at conventions and support your endeavors, but despite all that, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts and fear of harassment. I was pressured by the community as a whole to try reaching out to collaborate since I got these messages so often comparing us, and I hoped we could work something out. The photo of me at the meet and greet was taken candidly, and I thought it looked cute, and I posted it without asking you which was wrong with me. I was so wrong for letting everyone get in my head about all this, about all these malicious feelings. I'm so sorry for any opportunities I've taken away from you. I'm sorry, Sil. I have to read through this again, but first impressions, this one seems a bit more of the it's still very damage control-y, but I will say this seems to be the more genuine out of the ones I've read so far. To Spite. I'm sorry I had assumed things about your design that weren't true, and I'm sorry you've been harassed by commenters needing to compare us, and I apologize for the way Red spoke about you to Nano. You don't deserve any of this, Spite. I'm sorry. Yet again, I don't believe it. To Peaches, I'm sorry if I made it seem like I was ignoring or ghosting you. I was so happy we had the opportunity to meet in person. I was apologetic and how busy things were for me at the time. I wanted to spend more time with you, but as I got more and more DMs and messages, everything became so overwhelming. Always had low social battery, and that made it so hard for me to keep up to date with all my friends. I've never had any ill feelings towards you, and I still don't. As Van Peaches said, can't get, wow. See what she has to say to Rain. You were the first person I met as an ASM artist. During that time where I was immature and vulnerable, I ended up being consumed by the content I was making and led me to making awful decisions. I still think about and regret. Awful decisions I still think about and regret. I was not in a good spot at the time. I've hated myself for this kind of behavior, and it took a long time for me to move on from what happened. I have no excuses. I'm sorry you were dragged into my drama, and I'm sorry how I made you feel after I just wanted to close the book on things. Wow. Sorry to my pyro pups and my mods for expecting me to lead by a better example than this. Sorry to the VTuber community for looking towards me as someone to aspire to. Sorry to Kaiser, who's put his heart and soul into everything he's ever done for me and not even talking to you about how I felt. I'm sorry to the dozens of artists I've put their hard work into me. I'm sorry to the rest of my friends who I've let down. Led a bad example, and I don't expect forgiveness. I've made many mistakes over my 5 years on the internet. I'm only one person living the one life I get for the first and only time, like everyone else. As I said at the start, I ended up developing extremely unhealthy work-life balance, and the harm Red has caused with the way he viewed things is irreparable. The way I've been perceiving things lately is not how I want to view the world moving forward, and this goes to show there's a lot to address and improve if I'm to continue being a creator. I'm devastated that the friendships so special to me may understandably never be mended again. I love my job, and I love all the friends I've had. Thank you for reading. Cinder. That is a very good, what's the word I want to use? That was a very good damage control piece. Now, let's see what Lily has to say about it. Because apparently Lily has quite a bit. The absolute audacity to sit and continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolute insanity. The pain and mental torment you've caused to the ones closest and most supportive of you have been devastating, and I've never been so heartbroken and hurt so badly for my friends. You're the fakest person I've ever had the displeasure of supporting. Reading and hearing of how you've really viewed me behind my back, not just through screenshots of your man, but also your very own messages while having to sit here and read through these bullshit lies you spin to make me want to vomit. I called it! I called it! None of her fucking... She never showed any of her fucking own DMs, which could have fucking helped her so much. And the fact that she says your man. To claim that you didn't know a single thing and had zero awareness of what your man was up to when everyone who shared even a single moment with you knows that you basically operate as the same person, sharing every waking moment while loving to jump at the slightest opportunity to turn into your most slanderous self as soon as the opportunity was given, even when talking about your friends is sickening. I've experienced your own actions without Red in situation where your own screenshotted words you express a pressure to live up to what Lily is and proceed to throw one of your most loyal and supportive friends under the bus after months of continuous planning just because you consistently chose business over friends, never feeling bad about failing them. Just to earn the bag and compete with me over a V-Card collab that you rescheduled to be on the exact same date your friend needed you to keep an important promise. You actively lied about it to them instead of blaming me for a collab you rescheduled, adding me to the pool of excuses to save your ass. When you realize you were being a bad friend, why blame me for choosing to miss an obligation you agreed to on one of the most important days in that friend's career? Everything you do is out of competition through your constant need to one-up the people who are the sole reason you even have these opportunities and platforms to earn from to begin with. You're welcome, by the way. Your claim that it's just business. Well, in the business world, there is to be accountability, and all you've done is try to shove it away to admit nothing. In true narcissistic fashion, you've only feeling sorry about it yourself and your own consequences and your career to try to salvage it. Sorry for everyone who looked up to you as an inspiration, and I'm especially sorry for your fans. Pirate Pups deserve better. Holy shit. Cinder fucking... not Cinder. Lily went off. Like, I've never seen Lily on this type of shit. And like I said, how do you get... God damn, you're getting fucking ratioed. How do you get Buff Pup and Lily? How do you get Demi? I never see this chick in fucking drama. And you got Demi talking about it. Yeah, thank you, Camilla. As if boyfriend and girlfriend don't tell each other every single thing, you are blaming him to save yourself. I'm so disappointed you both. Shame on you for the pain you've caused all your friends. Like, how you got San in on this? You got everyone. You got Ethel in on this shit. And Vay? Take a breakup, come back single and in therapy. Oh my god. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what happens. Yo, this is fucking insane. I don't think she's coming back from this. I really don't. I don't see how she could come back from this. Holy shit. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out make sure you go support Lily and all the ones who were affected by this. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.